Hey guys, hope you've been having a wonderful day. Back at it again with yet another video for you. Today's topic, what I really wanted to talk about, seeing as to how we're 3 weeks into our squat cycle, I really wanted to briefly touch on dorsiflexion and why it's really important and necessary in order for us to be able to get into a deep squat. So when we talk about dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, obviously we're talking about our ankles, right? Ankle range of motion. Whenever we talk about plantar flexion, we really want you to think about your toes pointing as far away from your body as possible, right? Toes pointed. When you think about dorsiflexion, really want you to think about pulling in your toes to your shin as much as you can. Now, reason why dorsiflexion is really, really important when squatting is whenever we have really great ankle range of motion, our tibia, right, our shins, are then able to slide forward as we descend down into the squat. And so what that's going to go ahead and do, it's going to keep our center of mass, our hips, directly underneath us, in a much better position, versus if our tibia is not able to move so far as forward and instead remain vertical, what that will then tend to do is either send our hips back to have to compensate, which will then drop our chest forward, right? And that's when we have those really ugly accordion style type squats, and then we wonder why our low backs are hurting. And so that's primarily, of course, the reason why we want to try to increase as much range of motion in our ankles as possible, is to really try to keep an upright chest and keep our center of mass directly over our hips versus having to find some other way to compensate and still be able to perform the squat. So what I'm going to show you today is just a couple of different mobilization drills and some stretches that you could do to just kind of help to alleviate that mess and to help to increase range of motion. Some of the reasons why we may possibly maybe not have as much range of motion through the ankle, it may vary, right? You may have a really tight gastrocnemius soleus complex, which is just the muscles in your calves, right? They just be excessively tight. So when they are not loose, obviously it forces your foot in a little bit more of a plantar flex position versus you being able to get into dorsiflexion. Perhaps some of you, maybe like myself, who have played sports before and have had previous injuries, like say maybe ankle sprains or even torn ligaments in the ankles, scar tissue will develop within the area, and that can sometimes prevent you from being able to get as much full range of motion as you want within the joints. Another reason could be also that you may be experiencing some other restrictions in other parts of your body. So maybe you had injuries, or you have little to no range of motion through your knees or through your hips. That can also hinder your joint mobility in your ankle as well, right? Everything is connected. So those are just a couple of the things, or a couple of reasons why you may not necessarily have as much ankle flexibility, but that doesn't mean that you can't work towards improving that. And so here's just a couple of drills that I want to show you, and hopefully if you guys do these just as much as you do all your other poses and all your other stretches for your hips and your quads and hamstrings, hopefully this can also help you get into a deeper squat, and you can squat heavier, more comfortably, and really be able to generate that power and maintain your hips underneath you as you stand that bar back up. So here we go.
All right, Hoops, I'll see you in about an hour.